We will reveal something on the show today that I don't believe has ever been revealed. It's a good day to be a Rangers fan, and we talk about last night's game and get you set for tonight next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. The scowl on Mike Trout's face. That ain't fishing line. No, he's been tied up with Mad Mally's rope. What a game it was for Tyler Malley, and what a game it was for the Rangers. Still not enough offense, but enough to win. So that's good. They shut the Angels out in Game 1 and retake sole possession of first place in the American League West. Hi there, and welcome into the DLLS Sports Studios. Welcome to the DLLS Rangers podcast. John Radigan here with Jeff Wilson there. And the revelation, even before we get to the diehard, the revelation is today is the Prophet's birthday. We're celebrating Jeff with cookies.
Yes.
And we're revealing the Prophet. Come on out here, Prophet. We need you right between us. We are going to give you these crumble cookies as our token of appreciation. Thank you. We have... Look at, and you've always wondered, what does the Prophet look? That is the Prophet.
Peace.
The now 28-year-old Prophet, and he is grabbing one of the crumbles. I think we've all got to take one. I know that the Queen is dying to get her hands on one of these crumble cookies as well. So anyway, happy birthday, Prophet. He does such a great job for us, including roping Mike Trout, as it were, in that opening video. So now the diehard news. You've known it, you've heard it, but please do yourself a favor. This isn't like we're not beating you. We're trying to help you. Become a diehard today. $3 a month. Plus, you get that free shirt, so it makes it $1 total because the shirt's worth $35. $36 to become a diehard. You get all that great content that Jeff and all of our writers provide. You get the 20% off of our events. We remind you we're a little over a week away from the Lone Star Open. It's going to be fantastic, an opportunity to play one of the best golf courses in the city of Dallas in Stevens Park. That's next Friday the 25th. You get 20% off your entry fee into that if you become a diehard first. So pay the $36, become a diehard. And let's do this. We'll remind you of that a little later on in the show as well. Meantime, Jeff, holy moly. Did you get through your cookie?
I did.
Good, because I'm going to let you talk for a long time now so I can get through one. But what a game last night. I mean, just, again, it's obviously, and you know, even hitters will tell you this. It starts with pitching.
Yeah. And the first question in the postgame was not about Tyler Malley. It was a very relevant question. But Bruce Bochy said, well, the story is Tyler Malley. And he's right. I mean, you know, when you're not getting any offense, you got to get pitching. And you know, you're buying your offense a little bit of time. 6 scoreless innings. I thought you know, it wasn't a clean 6 scoreless innings. You know, being nitpicky here, he went to full count a lot, walked a couple guys. Bro, he had the strikeout stuff going. All of his pitches were working. His fastball was really, really good. Even though he doesn't throw it hard, he spots it. So you know, it's very promising. This is 3 very good starts for him now. And what? He leads baseball in ERA,
right,
among qualified pitchers. I mean, it's pretty crazy, you know. And you definitely wouldn't have thought that after his first start. Now, the thing about his first start, even though it only lasted an inning and 2/3, he only gave up the 1 run.
Right.
You know, Boch got him out of there in plenty of time before the damage was done. And so a very pleasant surprise. It is 4 starts. It's not like he's made 30 starts.
No.
You know, so there's a long way to go. He has a lot to continue to to work on, a lot of road ahead, but it's very good. It's been very, very good, and probably I would say the surprise really of the maybe the whole pitching staff.
Yeah, I wrote in one of our intro segments on the deal. He's the best pitcher on the team right now this year so far, right? Which is surprising, and there's a couple that we'll have something to say about it, maybe more than a couple before it's all said and done. But like we say, a month into the season-ish, let's take a look at where he ranks in the American League in so many categories. It's not just ERA, but look at there. Opponent's batting average, he's first. Opponent's OPS, he's in second. The ERA, he's in first. I mean, he's the top of the heap in so many pitching categories. I saw one of the national pundits, there you see two, and hits per 9 inning, that's first as well. ERA, it says second. Okay, so but hits per 9 inning, he's first as well. I saw one of the pundits, John Morosi, on one of the national shows, touting him as not only an early Cy Young candidate, but at this point, an early consideration for an All-Star, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, let's take smaller steps here, John. John Morosi, not John.
Well, me
Radigan.
too.
Yeah.
I repeated it, so yeah.
I would start with All-Star. The guy's been an All-Star before. He's on a good team, and he's going to get opportunities to win games. Wins always attract, the players. The players vote on the pitchers. All right, it's not a fan vote. So what do players look at? Probably ERA and wins.
Sure.
I don't think a lot of them are diving into FIP and WHIP and things like that.
Yeah.
They're hey, who has the most wins? Who has the best ERA? Let's do it. So he's got a chance there. He does. But I mean, again, the All-Star game is 3 months away, and work is ahead. But for a guy who really didn't pitch, he pitched less than Jacob deGrom in 23. He came back earlier than deGrom last year, but only made 3 starts before he had a stress reaction in his shoulder.
Yeah.
So after September, after August, late August, he was gone, or maybe it was early September. We never saw him again. He went home. His wife was having a baby, so the team allowed him to go away. They're like, "You're not throwing again, the rest of the year. So go on and take care of your family." And the thing about spring training, you really didn't hear anything about him. Right. Which is good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And he just went out there and was steady and got his work done. And really the first start was a bit of a surprise, because it was not at all what you'd seen in spring training. Then he rebounded. Then he was really good at Wrigley Field. And then I thought he was better, honestly, at Wrigley. And he was pretty good last night.
Sure. Yeah. And it's a thing where, he said in some of his post-game comments that he hasn't felt right since 2021.
Yeah.
Which is now getting to be a long time. Now, obviously, we know he didn't feel right in 23, but the entirety of 22, he said he was not, and he had gone to the Twins at that point.
Yeah.
And he said he just wasn't feeling right. And then ultimately, sort of, we found out why.
Yeah.
But you got to go all the way back. You're talking 4 years now since he's felt like himself, and his numbers were good. Really good in 21. So
right.
If you get that Tyler Mahle back, you're in great. I mean, think of that rotation when Jacob deGrom gets himself righted. Nathan Eovaldi will be himself. Then you got Tyler Mahle and then Jack. I mean, that's a heck of a rotation. I think he even said it. It could be the best rotation in baseball.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean, if Eovaldi and deGrom perform at their levels, they're maybe not their ceilings, but at near levels they performed at previously. And if he rebounds and is like the 21 Mahle, and then you have what looks like a promising Jack Leiter, you have John Gray and Cody Bradford coming back. You have Kumar Rocker, whose ceiling is absolutely high. But Mahle's always, when he's been healthy, he's struck guys out. The 33 season we talk about, he had 210 strikeouts.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And 180 innings. Then that's a big number. Both of them are big numbers, really. Kind of looking at things these days, 180 is a big number.
Yes, it is.
And so it's in him, and it's a big year for him. It's a walk year. He's headed to free agency after the year. I tend to see that's a motivating factor a lot of
Sure.
times for guys, and so we'll see if this carries through. But be excited about what you've seen, but also don't etch his name on the Cy Young
Not
award
yet.
just
You always have to temper it. That said, 9Ks last night, which is a season high, but that's sort of that's playing to his strength. And he said one of his quotes that he took from a pitching coach, I can't remember his name, when he was in Cincinnati. He's like, "Go out there and be great at what you're good at,"
Yeah.
And you have to basically play the hits, play to your strengths is essentially what they're saying.
Yeah, it was Derek Johnson, who's the Reds pitching coach, who I believe had come from Vanderbilt. So he went from Vanderbilt to the majors, kind of just a new line of thinking and a very forward-thinking, maybe analytics-driven guy. But anyway, that's pretty basic stuff, and that's something that the Rangers have really you hear from their pitching prospects have zeroed in on here the last few years. Alejandro Rosario talked about it last year when he was on the weekly show. We had Paul Bonzani on the other day, the kid who went to South Lake Carroll. He's from Grapevine, and he said that's exactly what they told him to do too. Just be great at what you do best, and and it makes sense. Dominate and get as good as you can get with what you already know how to do, and then you can sprinkle in a changeup.
Sure.
Or a slider, something that's new once you get the foundation laid. So, but that's cool though. I mean, these guys every stop of the way they need to learn something and carry something with them, and that's a pretty easy one to think about. When you stop and think about it, it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But it resonated with Tyler Mahle, and it still resonates to this day.
Well, and that's the point. That message was probably delivered in various ways from almost every coach he's ever had, right?
Yeah.
And yet somehow, Derek gets credit for it, right? It's like, yeah, that's who told me that. Well, every coach basically wants you, maybe not your little league coaches, but pretty much every coach wants you to do that.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to get hit over the head with it and be
Sure.
directly told. Some guys might have said, "Hey, your fastball's really good. Let's keep working on that." And it didn't resonate, and then be great at everything you do.
Yep.
And so, or great at what you do the best. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So tonight's pitching matchup will feature the guy who we were initially thinking would be pitching last night, and that's Patrick Corbin. He'll get out there for the second time as a Ranger. It's Corbin against Soriano, and that is the interesting thing. The Kikuchi fell to 0-3 last night.
Yeah,
and our boy Tyler Mahle went to 3-0. Tonight it's Patrick out there against Soriano for the Angels, and it'll be interesting. Patrick Corbin accounted very well for himself in his first start for the Rangers the other day.
I agree with that. At Wrigley Field, it was his first game situation all year. He didn't have spring training. He didn't make a rehab start. He threw simulated games and things like that. It's different, and he's at a historic venue where he's very familiar with, though. He'd pitch at Wrigley many times before.
Sure.
But your first time when the lights are on and there's multiple decks on the field and more than 100 fans in the stands.
Right.
And he went out there and he did well. So it should, in theory, get better. The more arm strength he has, he's having some extra rest. He hasn't pitched in a week, so he should be able to give the Rangers more than the 5 innings. Of course, we still have the track records glaring and burning in our minds. But let's give him a little credit. People are allowed to get better. Blake Bryant, a little negative there, buddy. But I don't disagree. The Angels, with their biggest hitters, it would seem, are right-handed hitters with Trout and Soler, and Tyler Ward has like 5 home runs, and that Kyron like Byron Paris, he bats right-handed, so he's going to have his hands full. But I also think that the Rangers, like I said yesterday, swapped Corbin and Malley so that Corbin only had to pitch once on this homestand and potentially make only one more start as a Ranger because Leiter should be back Tuesday. I saw that question asked earlier by Daniel. Tuesday. Or maybe he asked about
No,
Langford.
And
Langford could be this weekend.
Yeah,
anyway.
Boach mentioned that yesterday and he might not be making a rehab start. They're still weighing that, so we'll see how that plays out. But yes, because Tyler Malley did what he does, Rangers started this series off in great fashion. They get the victory. However, 7 or 8 runs sounds very difficult right now, even after the 4-0 win. But let's talk about the offense. Let's talk about how they can continue to pull their way out of this offensive malaise next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast.
What is today? Wednesday?
It's Wednesday. And it's time to talk about Monarch money. So I spent the afternoon yesterday literally having, you can't see it here, but I had every one of my fingernails pulled straight off my hand. It was excruciatingly painful. Not quite that bad, but I went to the tax man, my accountant. Awful. It's my least favorite day of the year by far. And thankfully, there's something like Monarch Money. I would encourage you to avail yourself to Monarch Money because it's not only, one of those services that helps you sort of track your money, which it does do, but it also helps you manage your money. And it helps you grow your wealth. And that is so important in these times of financial uncertainty, which I would say are pretty much all times. We always say that. Yeah, these times are financially uncertain, right? So pretty much all times are that way. Go to Monarch Money, and they'll help you. I promise you. And if you use the code DLLS at monarchmoney.com, you get 50% off your first year of service with Monarch Money.
Yep. And, they can help you find room in your budget for tickets to sporting events, concerts, plays, comedy shows, you name it, with Game Time. And, Nicole has become a personal friend, Christmas card list type of friend.
Bestie.
Anyway, Game Time is the app where you can get tickets on the secondary market. They show you your seat. They show you the price. There's nothing hidden there. And it's great. And you can get it for events for anything in any city. It's not just our market. So if you're going to go to Sacramento next week to watch the Rangers, by God, you can get you a ticket to that game. So anyway, download the Game Time app. $20 off your first purchase with the code DLLS. Terms apply. First things first, though, you got to download the Game Time app.
So we're going to get to the offense, but there's, as usual, not a whole lot to say. However, before we get to it, let's talk about the bullpen last night too, Jeff, which threw up some zeros. They had to use 4 instead of 3 relievers. I mean, but that's okay, And they used their big 3, I guess, right? They got each of them, Garcia, of course, and Chris Martin and Luke Jackson an inning, or I guess. Well, Robert only pitched 2/3 of it.
Yeah, and Martin only pitched a third of an inning because during his one at bat, they came out to the mound to visit him, and Bruce Bochy said it was hip tightness. Afterward, said Chris Martin wanted to pitch the 8th and was expecting to pitch the 8th, but Boch said no. I took him out. I talked to Chris afterward. He said that he has dealt with that type of thing before, and it's just a little stiff. And he should be fine. Now, I saw somebody being snarky on Twitter that he probably means he's going on the injured list. And, there's something to it, as cautious as the Rangers play it. But I wouldn't expect to see Chris Martin pitching today.
Right.
I'm thinking he's going to get some time with Raul Cardenas, the team massage therapist, get that thing rubbed out, and be back for the finale. But Jacob Webb came in, pitched a scoreless inning. They didn't have to use Sean Armstrong. They elected to use Jackson with a 4-run lead in the 9th, and he did just fine. So the bullpen is good.
Yeah.
There's just no real other way to say it. The bullpen's been pretty good. The guys in the leverage spots have been good. And we got to throw Hobie Milner in there,
right?
Too,
yeah,
he's been so good. And coming out of spring training, we keep talking about it. It was like, God Almighty, is this guy even going to make the team? Or how does he need to go on the injured list with a hurt little toe or something? but he's been fantastic. So he may get an opportunity if it's at the right pocket for him to go in there and throw his frisbees and get guys out.
Yeah, so if you didn't see Jeff's story today, maybe that means you're not a diehard and you need to become one for $36. But Jeff wrote today about a very specific thing, the likes of which we talked about recently.
Yeah.
And that is, using small ball and using the bunt and sort of eschewing what analytics necessarily say. Analytics doesn't like steals. The Rangers have been stealing. Analytics doesn't like bunts, particularly not sacrifice bunts, but it doesn't like bunts, right? Analytics doesn't like a lot of these things. Well, if it weren't for a bunt and a steal and then advancing to third on an error, Jeff, Leody Taveras wouldn't have scored the first run of the game.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's go back in time, shall we? Before the 2023 team that won the World Series, the two teams that went to the World Series were the 10 and 11 teams managed by Ron Washington.
Yeah.
And what did Ron Washington love? Small ball.
Yep.
Stealing bases, going first to third, putting pressure on the defense. So even though in the moment, Ron Washington probably didn't care for what Leody Taveras did last night, afterward, Wash was probably like, damn, that's pretty good baseball. You know? But right now, these guys need base runners. So if you can get on base by bunting for a hit, go do it. I don't recommend it for Jock Peterson or Jake Berger, but Leody can do it. Probably a couple other guys. I know Josh Smith has tried it at times, though I think that they like him swinging the bat. And again, they don't want Leody to bunt every time. It gets a little predictable, but he's so fast and can just. He's worked so hard at it because they've been telling him for a couple of years, Leody, this can be a real weapon for you. And he and Tony Beasley have been working on it a lot. And the bunt hit last night was the third of his career against a left-hander. Now, granted, he doesn't play against a lot of left-handers, but it's something that hadn't happened in almost 3 years. So he's out there. He recognizes it. He said that the Rangers have been running more. Jonah Heim again. Once again tried to steal a base last night.
Yeah, he stole it. He stole the base.
Yeah, but they called interference on Higashioka. Higashioka tried to steal third. So they have struck on something, I think, and it's something that they can use to their advantage. There were times where you didn't want to run ahead of Corey Seager. Leave an open base and let them pitch around him, but. Even Semien has tried to steal some bags. So, get on the base however you can, whether it's grinding out a walk or whether it's laying down a bunt. Get on first base. That's pretty fundamental element of winning baseball is having base runners. Now, if you can manufacture a run, steal a base. You have to get to third. Get him over, get him in. Marcus Semien, great job hitting the fly ball. He almost hit a home run, but he was up there knowing that a fly ball would give the Rangers a run. And that goes back to Wash, who was a Semien mentor. Do what the game asks you to do. Productive outs, and that doesn't count as an at-bat. Counts as an out, but doesn't count as an at-bat in his stats. But that's the stuff that players really appreciate. You don't see it enough. The Rangers needed, again, while they're waiting for these hitters to get going, they got to score however they can, And I did a little. We had joked about pulling a lineup out of the hat, and so I did a little research on it. And Billy Martin, who should be in the Hall of Fame,
a great Billy
Martin should be in the Hall of Fame as a manager. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt. Every team he managed, he took.
Exactly. He won World Series. Anyway. The 72 Tigers was the first time he tried it in the major leagues.
Yep.
And who's the first name he pulled out of the hat? Norm Cash for the leadoff hitter. Not exactly a speed burner.
Big old power hitter.
He did it with the 77 Yankees.
Yeah.
And you know what? Every time he did it, they won. It just shakes things up, makes guys think differently. Have a little fun with your failure, and lighten the mood maybe. Whatever it is, if these guys are feeling the pressure to perform, I would say maybe Peterson and Berger are because they're newcomers. I don't think Semien is worried about it at all. Just find some way to do it. But small ball is a good way to do it. Putting pressure on the defense with things that the Moneyball era wiped out, as you were alluding to. And, you don't want to give away outs like sacrifice bunts. Okay, but sometimes, if you can't score a run, do whatever you can to try to get one across.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. And I like, and by the way, Corey Seager drawing a walk yesterday, I like, because again, this is one of the most aggressive swingers, in the game. And he'll swing at the first pitch almost every time. So, he realizes, and to your point about Simeon, he ain't worried. He's not worried about anything as far as, where he stands right now. But he realizes, okay, well, it's not going great for me right now. So if I can get on base via the walk, I'm going to do it. There's a lot of different ways to get on base, and certainly the walk is one of them, and it can be a weapon. And like I say, the Rangers have 8 hits last night.
Yeah.
It's just still not, it's not like they're tearing the cover off the ball.
No, it was good to see, though, that, Hyman, Higashioka, back-to-back doubles there. Hey, that's big, and having those two guys in the lineup together, Bochy not being afraid about losing the catcher potentially with one of them at DH, you do what you have to do. That was against a left-hander, so you wanted an extra right-handed bat in there. It was good, and I just think that everything's there, as we've talked about, but the bottom of the lineup producing. All right, let's say Jonah Heim's batting 9th today. All right, he singles. If Leote's in there in the 9 hole and it's 0-0 in the 7th, are you going to bunt Leote? You might want to consider it.
Sure.
Put on a play. I wouldn't do a hit and run necessarily, because I don't know that he makes enough contact. But then flip the lineup. Let Simeon and Seager try to get him home.
Right.
Hey, what the hell? Yeah.
And actually, you might not have to worry about Jonah. He'll just steal the bag.
That's right.
I mean, he's a speed demon all of a sudden. So, and you pointed out in the article, Jeff, too, about Nick Ahmed re-signing, and he's going to Arizona right now.
I think that's where he lives. He's with the Diamondbacks for a long time. I think he lives there, but he had a really good spring training.
Yeah,
hit some home runs, played good defense. Bochy knows him for all the years in the AL West together. Reliable guy. He really hasn't played around the diamond much, so I don't know. I'm sure he can, be a utility guy. But I think that and another thing I witnessed yesterday was Dustin Harris, a first baseman in the minors, was working at first base.
Yes.
So my mind went to work. It took a while. The hamsters don't go like they used to.
Luckily, you've got the Mito Pure.
That's right. Yeah. But it just looks like they're lining up a way to get Duran to the minor leagues. He's not doing much at the plate. He can play all over the infield, but they have guys who do that, and they have Josh Smith, who is doing it better right now than Duran. Duran needs to go to the minors. He was headed there last week when he was almost got hurt.
Yeah.
So they brought him back. So I think that when Langford returns, which Bochy said could be as soon as this weekend, he's eligible the 19th, whatever day that is.
That's Saturday. Yeah.
I think that you could see Langford activated and Duran optioned. Keep Harris up. If you need somebody to play first base, Josh Smith can play first base. Sure. But if you want Josh Smith and Dustin Harris in the lineup together, well, you know what? Give Dustin Harris a shot. He can play the position. He's so athletic. You're like, gosh, you don't want to waste that on a first baseman. But you know what? Sometimes if duty calls,
sure,
get him in there.
And he played it in the minors.
Yeah, he played it a lot in the minors.
Yeah.
And he played some third too. I don't think they want to try him at third. But point being, there's a way for the bench to get a little bit stronger, either with Ahmed or with Harris, or then Harris and then Ahmed. Yeah, however it works out, it just feels like this is an opportunity for the Rangers to resolve or try to find a solution for Ezekiel Duran to get his bat going again.
Yeah, and it's been like you say, something they thought about for a while. They started to pull the trigger on that not that long ago. We've talked about it since spring training that Ezekiel, unfortunately, much as we like the guy, could be the odd man out. He does too many things that are too similar, although not as good as what Josh Smith does. So not sure you need two guys that do exactly the same thing. More coming up, though, as we talk about the roof and the stadium and the transformation, and we get to some of your concerns, too. We see them. We'll get to them. It's next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast.
John, one of these days I'm going to learn my lesson.
Okay.
And that's to be more prepared for the commercial breaks.
Oh, yeah. And Empire Today.
And Empire Today, because it's like I'm not taking advantage of my home field advantage. I've got a computer in my lap.
Right.
Everything right here at my fingertips.
All there for you.
Empire Today is there to give you a home field advantage in your home, and they do all of their fabulous work they've been doing for years and years and years in your home. I mean, they'll come to your house. You just got to schedule a free in-home estimate. They come over. They show you the different flooring plans and options that might match your furniture or whatever it is. Whatever it is you want, they're going to help you get it. And you know what? You can tell them on Monday, hey, let's do it. On Tuesday, they can start working.
Sure.
I mean, they don't mess around at Empire Today. Speaking of not messing around, they'll give you $350 off your new floors at empiretoday.com/DLLS.
I'd appreciate you using their services as well as getting yourself one of these bad boys right here. These Rugged Road coolers. This is cooler time. We had a couple of warm days this weekend, which of course meant, loading some frosty beverages up in a cooler. And when you do that, you want a cooler that's A, going to keep them cold, but B, ideally keep them cold for more than just a short period of time. This Rugged Road cooler will keep stuff cold for 7 days. It's fantastic. It's so well insulated, and yet it's so light. It's easy to carry. It's so well constructed. Your adventure begins with one of these Rugged Road coolers. It's great for anything. It even floats. And so you could take it fishing. You could take it, if you're floating the river, anything you're doing, you can do with a Rugged Road cooler. This is the time of year you're going to be doing it. So get a Rugged Road now at ruggedroad.com. Use the code DLLS for 10% off. So, Jeff, the roof was open last night.
It was.
I don't know if you heard.
I heard it. I felt it.
Did you get cold?
A little bit. I had a jacket on. The problem, my number one issue with the roof being open is the wind, because the press box is out with the people.
Sure.
And stuff is blowing around, and my screen shakes. But other than that, it was a very nice night.
Yeah.
And frankly, I didn't even. At one point, I was like, I forgot the roof was open. I really did.
Yeah.
I did see that Joe mentioned that it's going to be closed tonight. I'm doing cartwheels inside my body right now, feeling good about it. It's all a work thing for me, really. And I think it's just, I want the damn thing closed all the time.
Yeah, not me. I wish we were opening it tonight. What's the problem tonight?
It's a little windy.
Come on.
Yeah.
I hate that. I wish it was open tonight. That said, it was open yesterday, and the Rangers improved their record at the ballpark with the roof open, but they're still significantly under 500. They're 23-29 now with the roof open.
Well,
but that's only 52 times. You just don't get very many per year. This is the 5th year. Granted, 2020. So 4th year.
They did open it in 2020 a couple times. They opened it at least once. It was against the A's, I think, for the first time. It might have been the game that Jonah Heim got his first career hit.
Okay.
But it was like 100 degrees, and it didn't feel that bad.
Yeah, because they ran. I remember that. I was at that game, and they ran the air conditioning even though the roof was open.
And they did until like 10 minutes before the game.
Yeah.
They opened it, or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They opened that thing up bright and early yesterday. And that's fine.
On a day like yesterday.
Sure.
It's not a problem.
Yeah. No, it was a nice day, and it wasn't as terrifying as I thought it was.
Yeah, to me though, if it's going to be, I don't know what it is, high 70s like it is today, or low 80s, and there's no reason, unless there's a threat of rain, not to open it. They should open it. That's what it's there for.
Well, I'm telling you, the wind, it's blowing right now at 16 miles per hour.
16?
I think the wind's a big factor here.
What direction?
I don't know. The arrow's pointing that way.
North, northeast? I don't know. Probably from the south. Yeah, usually prevailing wind here is from the southwest.
This time of year, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I wish it were open. Now, the Rangers do score more. Well, both teams score more runs when it's open. 10.57 to 8.84. So more runs are scored when the roof is open.
And then, well, the data they've compiled,
yeah,
says that the ball travels like 6 or 8 feet further when hitting the air than it does when the roof is closed. So I tend to think that there are a lot of things to answer Blake's question. There's this formula, and whatever the formula is, I don't think they follow it. I think they just like, it's going to be hot, or it's going to be windy, or
I agree,
or whatever.
I think at the beginning it was going to be a hard, fast temperature thing, right? If it's under, let's say, I don't remember, 85, we'll open it, and if it's over 85, we won't, or whatever.
Yeah, and there was I saw somebody last week said something like, or maybe it was on my Twitter feed, like somebody slipped and broke their leg or something because it was moist.
Yes, what happens when they open it is the humidity does rush in there.
So condensation and dew point and all that stuff.
And I believe that might have happened, at least been noticed by Ray Davis when they opened it one time during 2020 and nobody was there. But, they have an apartment right there. He and Neil both have an apartment very close. So they'd come over there and do their morning walk and their laps, and they had them open the roof, and that humidity descended. And the whole place will get, wet with dew, if you will. And the floors can get a little slippery. So, that's definitely a factor as well. One that they, certainly probably didn't consider atmospherically and all that. But to your point about the ball traveling 6 to 8 feet further with it open, that accounts for the monumental difference in home runs hit,
right,
which is 2.98 with the roof open. That's almost 3, Jeff, 2.98.
It's very close.
And 2.45 with it closed. That's under 2.5.
Okay.
So you see what I'm saying? Yeah. We are, which is a lot more home runs hit out of there.
Yeah.
With the roof open.
I think one of the longest homers ever came on an open roof night. Gosh, I want to say it was Seth Brown for the A's. Who hit one like over the batter's eye in center field. I think it's one of the longer home runs in the history of the ballpark.
That's a big boy shot there.
But anyway, I do remember that first day it was open. And it wasn't that bad.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and it was hot. I thought it was silly to open it that day. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, there was only, the teams and us in the place.
Right.
And the cardboard cutouts. None of them complained.
Yeah, they opened it during the World Series that year for one of the games, and it was so cold, and the wind was blowing like mad, and everybody was pissed, and it was during COVID, so there are people who are worried about being inside together. I was like, screw this, I'm going in.
And at that point, it had the World Series was late. Was it later than normal? Was it into November?
I don't remember.
I can't either. But anyway.
But they were allowing fans in at that point.
Yeah.
But that was like the first time for us locals where the wind had been a factor. And, I mean, things were blowing everywhere. Just everywhere.
Yeah. And remember, they made us sit 6 feet apart, too. There's like 4 seats between us and the press area and stuff like that. So, anyway, the roof will be closed tonight. Thanks for the update, Joe, on that. And it's disappointing, frankly, because the Rangers are better when the roof is open. Not record-wise, but hitting the ball out and scoring runs-wise. All right, I like this video. I always like those time-lapse photography things. And, of course, all last week we were telling you about the American Rodeo, which was at Globe Life Field. And the transformation of that huge facility from baseball to rodeo back to baseball is pretty amazing. Here's a little time-lapse photography to show you how it looked. It's amazing. Almost looks like they've got an ice rink at this end.
Yeah.
Right? There's all those people filling it up. Now they got to take it all out of there. It's almost time for baseball. Look, and that is the reason right there.
Yeah.
That they put that turf down.
100%. That place is an amusement park.
Yeah.
Things going on there all the time.
Yeah, there are.
I saw the transformation from the football field, the Cowboy Stadium. It was after a Big 12 championship game, and I don't remember what was coming up next, but I remember how they were stripping the field, and they were doing it a certain way, and I could never figure out the pattern for how they were doing it, but they weren't just doing it like from end zone to end zone. They were doing it like they were mixing in like the 40 every once in a while. It was just weird how they did it, but
because they roll it up, yeah.
And anyway, those are fun. And
it's
like
cool.
the American Airlines Center.
Yeah, we've seen the American Airlines Center go from basketball to hockey and back to basketball or whatever, a number of different times. Heck, going back to Reunion Arena, back when the Stars and Mavericks both played there. So, but it's a cool sight. It's a cool sight to see, and that rodeo that was all sand. I mean, to put all that sand in there, that's a heck of a thing. And I will say this too about the turf. Like when they were still considering putting it in, I guess this was probably in the 19 season. We had a trip to Arizona early in the year, and all the owners came, and I was doing a feature for Bally or Fox at the time about what did the people in Arizona think about the turf,
right?
And all the people who mattered, in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization said everybody loves it. And then we went in the clubhouse and we couldn't find one damn guy.
Adam Jones was tearing it apart, boy.
He ripped it.
He's like, it's still turf. At the end of the day, it's still turf.
It kills your knees.
He was against it.
We couldn't find anybody that liked it.
And it had like a kind of a yellow-green hue, too.
Yeah,
it wasn't quite green.
Yeah.
Same company that made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the whole thing was a hoax. Oh, are we going to do natural grass or are we going to do turf? Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's BS.
Well,
it's turf the whole way.
They definitely implied at first, like maybe to help get the vote through. I don't know. Oh, it's going to be natural grass. Yeah, it's going to be natural grass. It wasn't ever planned to be natural grass.
Never.
You can't make that work.
Never.
And the only one that do they still do this where the Arizona Cardinals play? Do they roll that whole field
I think they do.
out?
Yeah.
And let it grow in the sun?
I think they have multiple fields because TCU played a Fiesta Bowl there in 10, and the Cardinals played the day before.
Really?
And so they wheeled one field in and wheeled the game field out.
That's pretty cool.
Out and in, yeah.
Now,
pretty cool.
You got to have some pretty big parking lots or storage areas to put a couple of different 100-yard fields of grass, and they're more than 100.
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah. But anyway, Globe Life Field is it's a really great facility for almost anything. There's great sight lines in that place, and truly, after today and probably after this homestand, I'll probably stop asking for the roof to be open. But for now, I want it open.
If it
Not
happens,
that hot.
just be happy.
Huh?
If it happens, be happy.
I will.
If it doesn't happen, be happy for me.
I'm going to be there tonight, and it's not going to be open. There's no reason for it not to be open tonight. What is the temperature going to be tonight?
It's supposed to be like 80 something today.
Yeah, well, maybe it's too hot. I know, because when you do have game time, it's going to be 80 degrees straight up, and then fall into the 70s. And I do know when you have like tomorrow's 89 for the high, and Friday's 87. Oh, and then Saturday and Sunday we've got
definitely close. Saturday,
85 and 65% chances of rain. This may be it.
And let's consider, John, your numbers and everything you just spit out about the home runs. Maybe they're doing it to help Patrick Corbin.
Ah, there you go. There you go. It's strategic. I like that. I'm not mad at that. We're playing games. We're playing a game, and we'll play some games on you. So anyway, that's Roof Talk for this day. We've got more coming up. It's our batting cleanup segment as we clean things up in the world of baseball. Next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. Don't forget to become a diehard. $36 to become if you haven't done this yet, seriously, this really, because I don't know when the next time, we kind of knew this one was coming, although we didn't want to share it, but they don't have any plan after this one to reduce it again. So if you're even considering becoming a diehard, you got to do it now and save yourself all that money. It's worth even the $79.99, but it's ridiculously a good value for $36, and you get a free $35 shirt. So it's like basically buying it for $1. All this content, all those great things that we talked about, the 20% off of our events, the 20% off future merchandise that you may want to buy. And once you have one of the shirts, you'll want more because they're such great shirts. So anyway, just take advantage of this deal. If you're not already a diehard, do it today, and I think you'll really be happy that you did.
Yeah, I've said it before. I can't think of a better deal.
No.
And even I just and we're going to give you something.
Right.
We're going to give you a shirt, which you can choose at store.allcitynetwork.com. Neither of us is wearing our merch today, which is a rare day, but when we go to the ballpark, we like to wear collars. We're old fashioned that way, I guess. Although I will count a pullover as a collared shirt.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway, I would love a DLLS pullover and collared shirt.
Yep.
And hats.
Yep.
And I think they're all coming. There are plans for all of these things to come. The design phase apparently is not as simple as it sounds. But anyway, so right now we're focused on the T-shirts, and you've seen them all. You've seen me or John wearing all of them.
Yeah.
So you know what they look like. We've told you how great they feel at store.allcitynetwork.com.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Get yourself one. So let's start. So yesterday we had the gender reveal story.
We did.
Right, with Bryce Harper. Today, it's sort of the opposite end of that pregnancy spectrum. Yesterday was the last game that Alex Bregman would play for the Red Sox prior to leaving for paternity leave. So what did Breggy do? 5 for 5. 2 home runs and 4 RBIs.
That's pretty good.
It's his best. He's never been 5 for 5 in a game prior.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's kind of crazy, because the game before they got smoked 16-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He damn near did it himself yesterday. Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Well, congratulations to Alex Bregman, who I guess now that he's not with the Astros isn't such a bad guy.
Yeah. No. There's even when he was with the Astros, to me there was an endearing quality about his playful cockiness, choosing his numbers and those types of things, because I got a kick out of the guy. He was thoughtful. He was bright. I thought he was pretty decent, but he was an Astro.
I did find it a little annoying. I thought it was off-putting.
That he
yeah, I thought
flaunted it to the other teams
I
didn't draft him.
Yeah. I mean, what was he taking? 3rd overall or 2nd overall? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, that's why he took a number. Like, yeah, you 2 teams passed on me, idiots. I don't know. I somehow, as I'm usually not for that myself, but I found that playful and funny. And anyway, he's a dad. I don't know. I didn't see the numbers. I don't know if he has a bunch of other kids or none others, or this is the first. The whole paternity leave thing, while awesome, is still strange. Right?
It is, but all for the best.
Yeah.
All for the best.
It is. Family first, and that's a great thing. Okay, so Spencer Strider is already pitching in today's game.
Yeah.
For the Braves in Toronto. First hitter he faces in like 375 days. 3-pitch strikeout, Jeff.
Guy's good, man. He really is. And it seems like he really got back faster than most people do. Now he might have had the brace surgery procedure, which
the internal brace,
which doesn't take as long.
That's what he got.
So maybe that's the future, but I know Keith Meister is a big fan of it. But Keith Meister explained last year on the weekly show that he also, when he does the brace, he does the ligament too. So there's got to be something to it. Strider is actually losing 1-0 right now, though.
I see
in
that.
in
yeah.
the
What do his
sixth.
numbers look
It's not like the Braves score a ton of runs here, guys.
No, that's true.
But again, he's not the biggest guy. He's about 5'10". He has big, thick legs, which is where he generates all of his power. But so it's good for baseball. I'll say it again. I say it often. It's good for baseball that this guy is back.
Yeah, he's allowed just the one run. It was earned. He struck out 5. He's gone 4 innings at this point. And, the Braves find themselves down 1-0. But I agree with you. A guy like him being back is good for the game. All those people, are they in Toronto? I think
They're in Toronto.
They're in Toronto. All those people in Toronto get to see him.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's not like the Braves come there.
I was very excited to see Mike Trout yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, and I had a chance to go talk to Wash. Got him in the office in the visiting clubhouse, and we talked about various things. And I asked him how Trout was, and he said, "Well," and this is going to segue perfectly into what I want to talk about next. He said, "Well, he's hot and cold. When he does hit it, it's leaving the ballpark, but he'll show flashes." Then it'll go away. So he's looking for consistency. And Wash said, I mean, he missed 2 years. It's hard to do.
Amazing. Yeah.
Ergo, this is a guy who's won 3 MVPs and has been in the league for a long time. Imagine how hard it is for Evan Carter.
Right.
Who missed 1 year and who's been mentioned numerous times
in
here
the chat. Yeah.
In the chat. And I'll be honest, guys, I don't have an answer for you. I don't know what the heck is going on with him. I don't know why he didn't play last night. I don't know why he's only played once in the last 3 days. And maybe it is a back management thing. Maybe it's a swing thing. I really don't know. And I don't know that we're getting the straightest of answers from the Rangers. We need to follow up on that because it's become a pattern here where he'll play a game and then he will take 2 days off.
Yeah.
And, with the history and the expectation of him, we could use some a little more clarity on that one and a little more accountability for the status of, the guy who they honestly would love to have in center field right now.
Oh, my gosh. And in the leadoff spot.
Yeah.
They'd love to have him, if he's fully healthy and if he's the guy he looked like he was in the last month and then during the playoffs in 23, that's likely where he'd be right now. But to the point that Jeff has made and that, some would like to dismiss, but others realize missing a year of development at this stage in his career is big. And right now, it appears, he's on the road to missing more developmental time. Right.
Yeah.
Every time he sits out, he's not developing.
Unless they're doing some kind of work away from the game. I mean, that's a possibility, but we haven't been told what the plan is, and it seems to be up and down.
Yeah, and they were kind of vague, secretive about exactly what they were doing with Jack Leiter too. Right.
Oh, very.
And so, yeah.
Oh, very.
And so, the point there is it worked, right? So maybe there's a plan here but and again, it has worked so far for Jack.
Jack one day during that layoff pitched at Globe Life Field, and everybody who's anybody was in the dugout watching it. Including Mike Maddox. Mike Maddox said that he was told he had to go watch it.
Wow.
Okay, so they're all watching it, and we're in the press box watching them watch it while we watched it. And so we get down there, and we're like, hey, we want to talk to Jack. They're like, nope. Like, why not? And I said, well, what if I run into him in the tunnel? They're like, well, we rather wish you didn't. So then we wanted to ask Chris Young about it, and Chris Young wouldn't talk to us. He wouldn't talk to us. Not only did he not talk to us about it, he wouldn't talk to us.
Wow.
And so it was a S show. And then in the World Series, or during the playoffs, he was he had pitched and been back. He was in the Stay Ready group, that was staying ready and all this stuff. And one day during an off day, they were still there working out, and he was playing catch and right left field. He was in left field. And so I went over there and started talking to him and was quickly escorted away.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So it did not go well. And I don't understand why not. This guy, all right, he feels enough pressure already, but he was happy to talk to me about it. It's like, let the young adult
right
decide whether he wants to talk or not.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
That may be, a little bit of what's happening with the vagaries surrounding the Evan Carter progression here.
Right.
And exactly what's happening with him. But obviously right now, he's not progressing, in any sort of rapid way toward returning to the major leagues. That's just not happening at this moment. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and we can try to get answers, and I think we are trying. There's no question about it. When he was out of the lineup the last 2 days, Friday and Saturday, I did my diligence and inquired and received no answer. So
okay,
there you go.
That's how it goes sometimes. That's the life of a reporter sometimes. Hey, if you got 3 hours.
Well, and they're being weird about the Alejandro Rosario thing too.
Oh, that's true.
And I did text Alejandro, and he responded and he said, well, I'm doing pretty well. I hope we have a date for the surgery soon. I'll let you know.
Okay.
But it's like we're going on 2 months here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're delaying it big time, and of course that means delaying the return. If you got a little time today and you don't plan on going to the Rangers game, might be fun to make the trip up to Oklahoma City and watch old Clayton Kershaw pitch.
Yeah. I bet that somebody from our area does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just right up the street from our studios.
Yeah.
He's still out there giving it a go, and I bet it's going to be good. And he'll pitch for the Dodgers at some point, and I think this has got to be it, though, right? For him.
I would think so.
This has got to be the last year.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, they still the Red Hawks up there? Is that what they are?
They're now the Comets.
Comets?
Yeah. First year is the Comets.
All right. So anyway,
I'm going to guess that's after Mickey Mantle.
Okay.
The Commerce Comet.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's not so bad then. I like that. That said, them kids are eating good today. Well, Clayton Kershaw.
That's right.
He'll come in there. They'll be having
that spread's going to be A-okay.
Yeah, they'll be having steaks from Mickey Mantle's maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Henry, my son, is going to be playing a tournament in Oklahoma City in May, and we're going to stay by the ballpark there, and the Comets will be in town. And so I did have my eyes on Mickey Mantle's, but I don't know if we're going to do that. But we'll be in that area.
And if you need tickets to that Comets game time, Nicole
for sure.
will hook you up
for sure. Or I'll just call somebody at Round Rock and see what they can do for me.
Hey, can you get me some freebies? It's an even better deal than Nicole can manage on that deal. So it is interesting. On that is, I guess if we didn't state it, that's the tradition when a veteran comes down to do. It's usually pitchers, but it's position players too. Whoever has to go to the minor league affiliate to do a rehab start, they set the home team up with dinner. Who was it last year? Somebody he went to Frisco, and he got the guy's steak and lobster.
It was Scherzer.
That's right.
Yeah, because I was thinking about him because when he had was with the Mets and made a rehab start for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Apparently, his wife arranged for them to all get the earbuds or something extravagant in addition to the dinner. And,
oh wow!
And apparently, he was okay with it, but in the end, was like, let's not do that.
Dinner's enough, honey. Yeah, enough. We got money, but if we keep spending it like this, we're not going to have any more money. So yeah. Well, that's good. That's good for the Oklahoma City kids up there to get a nice meal out of Clayton Kershaw today. And like I say, you could be watching this in Oklahoma, and if you are, just pop over to Bricktown Ballpark.
Well, I would assume that Josh Young gave him a good spread a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, probably right.
He rehabbed up there.
That's right.
I'm going to guess that Josh, usually it's like, a local steakhouse, whether it's Outback or something a little nicer, but, it's better than what they normally have.
Yeah, oh yeah, way better. A lot of times that's just going to be sandwiches, like a sandwich spread or something. So yeah, this is a heck of a deal for these guys, and it's a heck of a deal tonight for the Rangers to try and get a little winning streak going. They, by the way, are still atop of the American League West, and nobody has more wins once again in the American League than the Rangers, who are at 10. So despite all your frustrations about the offense, I almost made it. Despite all your concerns about the offense, it's okay. The Rangers are winning anyway. They'll get the offense back, and we'll be here to talk about it each and every day on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.